Earlier today on my show, I talked about let's not hold our rank and file American citizens, those on the right that somehow believe they're right-wing sycophants or they're right-wing enablers, they're right-wing leaders. Those are the ones that we should be holding accountable, because you have a group of these guys that are so forceful in what they believe that they think they're right. I want you to listen to this here with Rick Santelli, and good for Andrew Sorkin, who came back to really put him in his place. But check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side. This is simply and entirely pathetic. Check this out.
Can't tell me that shutting down, which is the easiest answer, is necessarily the only answer.
Rick, I just as a public health and public service announcement for the audience, the difference between a big box retailer.
Who is this?
Hold on. The difference between it's Andrew.
Who else?
The difference between a big box retailer. Hold on. The difference between a big box retailer and a restaurant, or frankly, even a church, are so different, it's unbelievable. Going into a big box retailer,
I disagree.
You're wearing
a mask. You can have your thoughts and I can have mine.
You're required to wear a mask.
I disagree.
It's science. I'm sorry. It's science. If you're wearing a mask,
science.
it's a different story.
500 people in a Lowe's aren't any safer than 150 people in a restaurant that holds 600. I don't believe it. Sorry. Don't believe it. And I live in an area where there's a lot of restaurants that have fought back and they don't have any problems. And they're open.
Okay. You don't have to believe it, but let me just say this. You're doing a disservice to the viewer, because the viewers need to understand it.
You are doing a disservice to the viewer. You are. You are.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I would like to keep our viewers as healthy as humanly possible. The idea of packing people into restaurants.
I think our viewers are smart enough to make part of those decisions on their own.
Completely different
I don't think that I'm much smarter than all the viewers like some people do.
Now, Sorkin is absolutely right. When you have people in a Lowe's, if you have 500 people in a Lowe's, a big place, and they're walking around and all wearing masks, they're not shedding the viruses as people in the pew of a church where they're sitting right next to each other in a small enclosed location with lower general ceilings. The same applies to restaurants. When you have people in these close proximities, they're more likely to get the virus. What these guys are doing is it should be considered voluntary manslaughter, because they're messing with people's minds and they're causing people to do things that get them killed. And everywhere where these people take over, that is exactly what we see. And where we take measured approaches, where we take scientific approaches, that's where people do well. This Santelli has, as he's always been this Tea Party type guy, should be ashamed of himself, but we know they have no shame. We know they really don't care. We know they take care of themselves, but care nothing about anybody else. They just want people to pack these places so that in the churches, they can collect their collections. So that in restaurants, irrespective of what happens, they'll make their buck. Shame on these guys. They have no humanity. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.